Hey friends, welcome to the second installment of my Writing a Fantasy Serial series, where I take you along for the journey as I write and publish my young adult fantasy serial, currently titled Project Handmaidens, and share with you what I'm learning along the way. Because, like I shared in the last video, a serial is different in a lot of ways than a normal novel-length series, in that it is more like a TV show, but in book form, where you write a series of much shorter episodes that are fast released to help you grow your readership and keep them engaged, in effect, becoming easily bingeable content. I also revealed in that video things more pertaining to my particular serial, like the inspirations for my story and what plotting process I took, resources for writing and publishing serials that I found helpful in case that's what you're trying to do as well, my very tentative publishing timeline, the fact that it is a loose fairy tale mashup, and the very, I'm going to stress this, very work in progress pitch. Okay, it's very rough, but I did reveal that, and I'll just say it again for anybody who's just tuning in. This is the very rough pitch for my serial so far. Serving the Duke's daughter by day, 3 handmaidens spend their nights stealing magical knowledge from the rich to give to the poor. So they've got a little bit of a female Robin Hood kind of trio going on. But when their royal lady, an unlikely friend, begins turning to gold, the handmaidens must find a way to break her free from her family's curse while still keeping their vigilante life a secret, or risk losing everything. There's a lot going on under the surface that I'm not ready to reveal yet, so some of those things are a little vague, but that's where we are so far. I'm really excited that a lot of you, there's a bunch of you live right now, and anybody watching the replay, hello. You all are really excited. Let me know, what are you most excited about from what I've revealed of the story so far. Let me know that in the comments. But I've been letting my patrons in on super secret, juicy details and behind the scenes stuff over on Patreon. They are the wonderful people that support and vote for content just like this. So big thanks to all of my patrons for your guys' support. And this month, you're going to get something. It might be a whole episode. It might be part of an episode, but I'm going to give you an early draft to get your feedback and see what you think so far. So I'm really excited to do that. But what are we talking about in this video? In this video, I'll be sharing all of my progress from this past month and sort of sharing what I've learned as I've been going through it. Basically, I fast drafted episode 1. Okay, so from beginning to end, episode 1 has been written once, and I've started editing it. I've more fully outlined the whole rest of the series, so we'll talk a little bit about that. I worked on some character development to develop my characters even more. I curated a list of potential editors and cover designers to contact this month as well. So that's really exciting. I'm going to show you a couple of cover designers specifically too, and editors that I'm thinking of contacting, and specifically covers that I saw of like some examples I'm really excited about. So I want to get some of your guys' feedback. And if you have editors or cover designers that you've worked with in the past, or you've heard good things about, I'd love to hear that too. And also just be able to all share our knowledge and help each other, because a lot of us are on this publishing journey. So let me know if you're excited and what you're most excited out of these topics to chat about tonight. And if you're enjoying this series so far and want to tell some friends to get in on this with us before we get into all the nitty gritty, you can take a screenshot right now of this page and like put it on Instagram. You can tag me at author Brittany Wang, and I'd love to repost it later, but then you could also share with your friends and they can get in here and chat with us about all the fun things before this live stream ends. And there will be a replay, but it's just so fun to talk to you guys live. So before we get into all the content, I just want to say hi to everybody for joining me. I love that you guys show up. I see Katie and 2 Katies, Kay and Oma, and I had Leanne. And let's see, I saw some new people showing up as I got started. Abigail, hello. And I did ask if, because it is the first day of Camp Nano as well at the recording of this. So if you're doing Camp Nano, I would love to hear your goals. Kay is sharing her Camp Nano goals. Super exciting. And Abigail says, I'm thinking about starting to plot my own serial. So this would be so good. Oh, I'm so excited. There's a whole playlist down below as well that you can check out, that I'm curating all of these fun chats as well as some interviews that I've done with authors of short fiction and serials. Hi, Mary, and Leanne is here. Okay, go for it. Great. Leanne and I have an announcement at the end, which is going to be fun. Beth and JJ and Mary, you made it. Katie, Pauline, Lysandra. Oh my gosh, you guys. And some of you are here like every single week, which just makes me so excited. Katie's excited about all the above. Amanda can't wait. Oh, and my comments just dropped. JJ, guys, if you're watching the replay, you can skip ahead just a little bit. We're going to get into it soon. Britt, you would love Touch of Gold. It sounds right up your alley. I've actually, I started reading that after I got the idea, and I was like, oh, so good. You had a very productive June. Thank you. Yes, I've been trying. I'm so excited to learn more about the magic system in this, and of course, the sisterhood relationship between the ladies. Yes, Ingrid, and some of those details, I'm not quite ready to like share uber specifics here live with everybody, but in the Patreon group this month, you're beginning to get a lot more of that kind of stuff for sure. I have a fairy tale retelling mashup on the brain right now. Yes, Leanne, you shared the specifics last week, and I'm super excited about them. Revising my YA fantasy for camp. Yes, JJ. Hi, Katie. We have so many Katies watching. Stephanie, fast drafting book 1 of my new series/serial. Oh, you guys, I am so excited that a bunch of you are joining me in this. I plan on writing 25K in my work in progress for Camp Nano. Awesome, Mary. First draft of the first episode of my serial, 2,000 words. So good. Drafting the first novel. So good. Awesome. Well, let's get into the updates, shall we? And I just got to pull up my screen here. And let's first talk about fast drafting and how that went and what I learned, because I always learn a lot. Every new writing project and draft, I'm like, okay, let's redo this. Let's look at what's working, what's not, because what is not working right now for me that I've realized, and I don't know if some of you have realized, is that word counting goals are actually hindering me more than helping me. And so what I'm actually moving towards is switching to making story beat goals or scene goals. So instead of being like, okay, today I'm going to write like 2,000 words, it'd be like, for the next hour, I'm going to write this one scene, or for the next 2 hours, I'm going to write the midpoint. And I'm sort of working my goals off that. So that's what I'm doing for Camp Nano. And so far it's helping me really focus on the story more and just writing the story and then worrying about word count later, even if it's very thin, because my fast draft, let me just be honest, only ended up being 10,000 words. But I skipped like, you know, a lot of description, a lot of like scene things. I did a lot of like dialogue, just like back and forth, and just trying to figure out the characters and trying to figure out the story. And now I was able to read that fast draft and do like a fast read through in one day, do all the editing notes. And even though I've been struggling to like get back in to like do the second draft, I can already see like this needs to move and this needs to change. And it's just not like tons and tons of words that I need to sift through in order to get to that second draft. So, and I got from beginning to end in just like a couple weeks. So if you are in a place where you're like, oh my gosh, I've never finished a story, I've never like gone from beginning to end with a story, and I want to reach the end, I encourage you to try doing a short story or doing a novella, because you get there so much faster. Do a fast draft, focus on telling the story, not just writing words to write words, because I can tell you, and I'm going to talk about this more in next week's video, but I can tell you that I know that I overwrote my first full-length novel, and I'm still cutting words to it today, and a lot of fluff words, because I was just focusing too much on trying to write a certain amount of words. So I'm actually going to be talking in a video next week. This is a video that my patrons have voted for. Every month or so, I give them like a bunch of video ideas, and then they vote for which topics they're most excited about. And one of them was how my writing process has changed, because I did a video in 2018 talking about my writing process at the time and what it looked like. And now it's been like 2 years, and some things are the same and a lot of things have changed. So I thought it'd be really cool to sort of go through that. Again, that's only my experience, but just sharing that. And it was the most highly sought after topic that was in the list. Everybody was really excited about. So I'm going to do that next week. I'll talk more about these kind of things. So if you're excited about that, definitely tune in same time next week. And I've been telling you guys I've been using Scrivener, but I've been using it more as plotting. And I finally decided, okay, I'm going to write in Scrivener. I'm going to actually use the feature to like write the manuscript. And Scrivener has so many great like revision tools and things that I never really used before or never really knew fully about before. So yeah, everything is living in Scrivener right now. So I better back up my computer so that I don't lose everything. But it's just it's really good. And I'm going to be doing some tutorials, some Scrivener tutorials coming up, and actually partnering with Jane from Fiction Technician and showing you guys either if you want to learn more about Scrivener and you've never used it, or you do, but you want to see how somebody else uses it. Let me know if that would be exciting for you, because I think I'm going to be bringing that in. But yeah, just learned a lot by like writing from beginning to end, and yeah, excited to tell you guys more as I get this draft sort of in better shape. I'm seeing a lot of comments, so I'm just going back to make sure I don't miss anything. All right, I see Caitlin and Lauren and Mary and Rachel. Let's see, Katie. Yes, I love that idea. I do a lot of late night writing, so sometimes writing 2K is not possible, but finishing a scene is. Do what feels good. I agree. Scene goals are so amazing. I too tend to struggle with word counting. It seems so overwhelming to write like 5,000 words, but 2 scenes sound so much easier. Yeah, and you can go, make that scene as detailed or not detailed as possible. Hi, Danya. Danya was my patron of the month and got to shout her out recently. She's awesome. I really should try StoryBeat or scene goals. I'm sure that would really help me. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a try, right? And if it doesn't work for you, something else might work better, but it's definitely working for me. Yay, Scrivener friends! I decided to go with Scrivener again after trying Dabble for like 5 minutes. Yeah, I heard that you had like a hiccup with that. It didn't work out for you, Amanda. I swear by Scrivener. Yeah, I've been fighting it for a really long time, but I'm loving it right now. I'm failing at fast drafting so far. I'm through chapter 4 and almost 5K words. Oops, that's totally fine. Just keep writing. I'm looking forward to our collab too, Jane. So exciting. Hi, SM. And going to try Nano and improve my writing. Love it. Cool. All right. All right, let's keep going, because I try to keep these things concise, guys, and it's just hard for me. I also just wanted to mention, I've been mentioning it, but if you're interested in short stories, writing short stories or serials, I took Amara Luciano's long story short course this month, and it was so good. A lot of practical stuff and also a lot of mindset stuff. And so some of you who are saying like I get stuck, like, I second guess myself, I, have imposter syndrome. We talked about all those kind of things too, and how actually writing short fiction can actually help break you out of that space too, and dealing with some of the things that like keep us from not writing. So I know a few people in here, Amanda, Katie, were in the course with me. I'm sure they'll say things in the comments once they see this part. But yeah, it was so good. It's not currently running right now, but you should definitely follow Amara on Instagram, because she's definitely going to do it again. So you don't want to miss that. It was so good. Then I outlined all the other episodes in the series, and I had ideas, like a few lines for each of the following episodes of what I thought was going to happen, and but I didn't fully flesh them out. So this month it was like, okay, story beats, like let's try to bang them out and see what might be there. And what I realized, in addition, forgot to say this, I use Scrivener as well, which is super versatile, and I also have a 5-act structure. So this is the beats that I was using. It's in a 5-act structure that I sort of developed from like Save the Cat, but also like some TV structure things. Also use a snowflake method a little bit, and to not make this like a super long video, I'm going to explain that more in next week's video. But yeah, use those things in Scrivener. And I originally had 5 episodes planned. And I think I'll definitely have more coming down the pike. But what I realized as I was fleshing things out is I was like, okay, this episode sort of has some holes, whereas this episode has different holes. And I was like, well, if I put them together, then, and like the stories sort of line up, then actually I have all of the beats there. It's just like adding the 2 stories together, and it like I did that for like episode 2 and 3, and those sort of came together, and then episode 4 and 5, and they came together really nicely. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think what I really have is 3 solid episodes, which, you know what that means, guys? That means I can write it faster, I can get it complete faster, edit it quicker, and hopefully get it published and out to you guys sooner than I thought. So that's really exciting. And also, if you're writing and publishing serials for yourself, just keep in mind that the more episodes you have planned ahead of time and that you want to fast release, the more covers you're ordering and the more you're paying editors and the more time you're taking. So I think, especially for it being my first serial, I think it would behoove me to simplify just a little bit. And I'm going to actually shoot for 3 episodes that still has all the story that I was thinking about writing. It's just more condensed into those 3 more digestible episodes. So that's going to be super, super fun. I'm just going to check the comments as we go here. Let's see. I've always wanted to write a fantasy book, so this scene goal is really handy for me. It sounds like a great idea. Yeah, definitely try it. Let me know how it goes. I don't write in English, so a lot of Scrivener tools. I always forget that you don't write in English, Ingrid. Like, I know it, but like, your English is so good that I'm just like, I don't believe you. It's just, she doesn't write in English, so a lot of Scrivener tools don't do a lot for me, but I'm still excited to see how the new version functions when it drops in Windows. Oh, hopefully they can do it with more languages. That would be great. And oh yeah, Lysandra was there too. She's super empowering. I agree in that in Amara's course. Donnie loved the course, and Amanda said such a good course. Y'all are there with me. I love it. And I've only ever used the 3-act story structure, but I think I definitely want to try and explore other types of story structures for future projects. Agreed. Yeah. And so it was really freeing and fun to try this new structure. And again, it follows a lot of the same beats, but it was like majorly simplified. And I actually shared it with my Author Life Insider tier on Patreon. We did a live stream this past month or the month before, where I shared the 5-act structure in more detail. And I am thinking about sharing a little bit of it as well in a couple weeks in a video. So yeah, you guys can look out for that. Let's see, what else? What else happened? All right, so character development. If you guys are looking to develop your characters a little bit more, you know, I think we always realize in different stages as we're drafting, as we're outlining, like, I need to get to know this character even more to write them well, to write a more compelling story. And a lot of that focuses on their inner wound or misbelief and their goals. And I just wanted to shout out a couple of resources, 2 books that I'm going to mention in a second, but also I've tried a little bit more of like pre-writing for my characters. So you know, you can create a character bio and fill in all the details, but I really found that I needed to write in their voice. So I decided to take some of my main characters and have them write either like a journal entry or a letter to a different character in the story that took place before the story even started. And I was just free, knowing that it wasn't going to be in the book anyway, just free to like write in their voice, to explore their past and what that means to them, and their wounds and their beliefs and all the different kind of stuff. So that was really, really helpful. I know a lot of people already do that, but if you've never tried it, I've put it off for a long time of trying it, always wanting to do it, but never actually pulling the trigger, and did it with the story, and it was super, super helpful. The other 2 resources that I just want to mention real quick is looking into the Enneagram, which is more of like a real life personality structure or test that you can take to figure out more about yourself and how you function, sort of like Myers-Briggs, but this only has 9 different personalities. The Road Back to You, talks about it more in the sense of like you as a person, but, and that's helped me a lot. Actually, my husband Ben and I read it together, and it was super helpful for both of us to actually not only understand ourselves, but each other. But I've loved going back into this book and actually looking at it from a writer's perspective and seeing how I can flesh out my characters and make them more lifelike and make their personalities more dynamic by trying to figure out which Enneagram number they are, and just the different things that were in this book. It talks about wounding, it talks about healing, it talks about belief systems and a healthy version of yourself versus a person who's in stress or in a not safe space. So good. So in general, just a great book to read for yourself, but for writers, definitely suggest suggest it. The other one is Story Genius by Lisa Cron. I read Wired for Story, which was her first book. And Story Genius, I think, plays on a lot of the same things. But as I'm reading the beginning of it, it's definitely more focused on character development and writing the story from the characters' like goals, motivations, and stakes kind of stuff, and is just really good. So I would definitely suggest those as well. And I might talk about them even more next week too. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about editors and cover designers. I'm really excited about this part. I'm sure a lot of you are really excited about this part. But before we do, I just want to check in the comments too. JJ says 3 episodes sounds awesome. Yay! Yeah, and I feel like too, like when sometimes you see like a series or a serial and there's like 10 books or so, and you're just like, oh, they're already out. It's going to take me forever to read. I don't know if I'm going to start it. You know, it's like when a season of a TV show is like, 10 seasons long. It's like, really? Am I going to start now? So I feel like I'm going to keep it simple, and then I can always build on more seasons or more episodes after that. So I'm excited that you're excited about that, JJ. Just spotted this in my notifications. Hi, Natalie. So glad you can make it. Mary says, I love Scrivener because it's easier to keep up with multiple POVs. Yes, agreed. And that's something I want to show in future tutorials. And I have to keep up with my MC's class schedule, and I can click and see it. Oh, that's super fun. I only have a solid idea for 2 episodes, so Amanda's also writing a serial, you guys. I've considered doing 5 episodes or 3. I'm just sort of going with the flow. And going with the flow is good too. I think for me, I'm like shooting for 3, and then if like it naturally turns into more than that, then that's great. But I just don't want to like burden and stress myself out. You know what I mean? Sarah says, can a serial be longer than a novella? Can they be short novels? Sarah, if you go to watch the interview I did with Amira Luciano on my channel here, if you search short fiction on my YouTube channel or go like a few videos back, we talk about the benefits of writing and publishing short fiction. That's what the video is called. And I think somewhere near the beginning, I asked her this question. I don't remember all the numbers off the top of my head, but if you go watch that video, somewhere in there, she mentions the numbers. And I'm pretty sure it's like when you get to like 50K is when it becomes like a novel. But then there's like different gradients before that. I hope that's helpful. Yes, character bios are super fun. I just feel like I don't really get to know them until I'm like writing dialogue for them or writing in their voice. I use 16personalities.com for creating personalities characters. That's definitely like if you want to take a test for them, that's awesome too. Awesome. Hi, Zayden. All right. Hi, Scully. And I have holes in my episodes as well, so maybe combining them is a cool idea. I did that with episode 1 too. Perfect. Yes. And you won't really know if it works until you start writing it, right? And actually putting it together. But that just like freed me up, and I just felt a lot less like intimidated by like all the holes in the things. You're welcome, Sarah. And if it's not there for some reason, like please let me know and I can message you the details. I just don't have them in my head. All right, who's excited to talk about editors and cover designers? Before I give some suggestions, and again, these are not people that I've worked with personally. Any suggestions that I put on the screen will be from people that have suggested them to me or that I've heard really good things about or that I know personally. So take all of that with a grain of salt, and I can update you once I actually work with some of these people. But in general, here's just some good tips that I have heard from my friends who are published, who are self-published. One of them, when you're looking at editors and cover designers, is to try to book them as soon as you can, at least after the first draft or 2 is done. But you want to book at least maybe like 3 months in advance, because depending on how popular they are or how well known they are, they can be booked up. And then if you have your heart set on somebody and they're not available and you already set the date for it to be released and you can't change it for some reason, then you're stuck. So that is just a general rule that I am trying to follow, and I'll let you know, guys, again, how that goes. Also, it's really good with editors to ask for sample edits. A lot of them will do a sample edit for you for free to show you their skill and their how they do things, and then you get to know them a little bit. And you can also read testimonials from their work. So I definitely, from friend suggestions, I also suggest that, and that's what I'm going to try to do this coming month as well. With cover designers, you definitely want to look at their portfolio before you just pick someone, and make sure that they have covers that sort of have like a similar vibe or are good reflections of the genre that you are trying to go for, because that's really important. And then also, this is one thing that I'm doing too, is consider budget and pricing. Make sure you have your budget and what you are willing to spend on everything up front, because you don't want to get into a place that you've gotten really excited about somebody and then you realize that you can't afford to pay them, and you can't book them. So, and this can also like be determined by how many episodes you're going to have. So now if I have 3 episodes instead of 5, again, I'm only paying for 3 covers, where 5 covers could be like almost twice as much. So the one thing too to keep in mind, I've seen some cover designers offer deals when you're doing a series though too. So you could sort of look into that or ask them about that and say, hey, if I order like 3 or 5 covers up front, then do you do like a bundle? Do you have a discount? And for me, I'm definitely looking for that. I'm going to be asking about that. But you also then need to have titles all set up pretty much, and what you want the books to look like, and all the different kind of stuff. So that's some stuff that I'm going to have to also look into. But I'm going to share a few editors I've heard of and that I'm definitely going to reach out to, and some book cover designers. And like I said before, definitely share if you know of any or have worked with any that you really loved, because we'd love to know. First of all, here's just a few editor suggestions I've gotten from friends. There's even more on my list, but just for sake of space and time, I just wanted to share a few. And you can stop the video and do a screenshot if you need to for later. And then here are some cover designers. I have a lot of cover designers on my list, you guys. And yeah, I'm really excited because I'm going to show you a couple of covers that I found in their portfolios in a second that I'm like, ooh, that's sort of like my vibe. But yeah, definitely let us know if you know of any others that are not on my list. But here are some covers I found from their portfolios, and I'd love to know what you guys think, what you like about them, which ones sort of stick out to you. Obviously, these are not can't be mine. They are somebody else's books, but I just love like the vibrant colors in some of these, and people go back and forth of like, should you have like people on your cover or not? And I think it really depends on the genre and like what books you're sort of trying to vibe with. But my characters are like my books are like going to be pretty like character driven and have like iconic kind of looks, and they are each sort of loosely based on a different fairy tale character. Like I said before, one of them, I don't think I said it in this live stream yet, but one is loosely based on Red Riding Hood, another is a female Robin Hood, and another is like Cinderella's fairy godmother, but in teenage form. And so the third one over here that has like 3 different girls, I'm like, ooh, that's sort of cool. Like she fit them in really nicely, like leveled. I like that. So yeah, they're all really pretty. Then I've included who the designer is at the bottom here. And let's see, I also have these lovely covers, and you can tell like some of them have like the girl farther away, some of them are like midway, and some of this like really close up. So I'm really curious to know what you guys think as well. And again, some of you might be like, you're already thinking about covers, like, oh my gosh, but again, these are faster written books, so hopefully going to come out faster, and that means that I need to start thinking about this now so I can book people before they're totally booked up. So hopefully that makes sense. But if you could tell, the middle book on this page is The Curse Hunter, and that is by my wonderful critique partner, Bethany Atazada. And this book actually just came out. This is the hardcover version. And you guys, if you haven't checked it out yet, or this series, the Stolen Kingdom series is so good. And this and all the other new covers were designed by Mandy Lynn from Stone Ridge Books. And it's just so beautiful. I love it. So I just had to give a shout out because they're my friends, and I think it's pretty. And it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So retellings, everybody. The other final idea that I've been considering is hiring just an illustrator to sort of capture the vision of my characters and what I see in my head, especially because I'm like in the fantasy realm. So I think like I've seen a lot of great fantasy and young adult fantasy books that have really beautiful illustrations as the cover. And then I have Photoshop, and I've learned some basics about making the text look really nice. And so I'm thinking some people will buy or hire an illustrator to do the cover picture, and then they know how to do really nice text with Photoshop. So like the title and the author and all of that kind of stuff. So especially because I'm just doing ebooks right away, I feel like if I found somebody who could do reasonable illustrations for me that I really loved, then I might do that for the covers, but then put my own text on top. So that's another option as well. I just want to see what y'all are saying. Let's see. How long are the chapters in each episode? I haven't fully figured out how long the chapters are going to be, but I'm shooting for the actual stories to be between 17 and 25,000 words. But chapters, even in my full-length novel, like, I mean, I think they ranged from like 2-ish K to like a little over 3K. But I sort of determine that again based on the story, and I'm really moving away from like trying to make things like uber like word count specific and just focus on telling the story. So if a certain chapter feels better to be short, then it's going to be short. I hope that makes sense. Natalie says, just to boost everyone's oomph to keep writing, I just thought I'd share. I finished the first draft of my book 3 of my fantasy series 3 days ago. Whoa, that is a big book. I love it. Is that an epic fantasy? I'm assuming so, because that's a long book. That's great. How many words is your first episode going to be? So hopefully, I think Donnie, I just mentioned that. So let me know if you have any further questions about that. Natalia Lee is amazing. Hi, and I'm hoping to reach out to her from edits too. Yes. Love them all. Thanks, JJ. Daiquiri of Covers by Combos on Facebook is a good designer too. Okay, I'm going to be taking notes after this. I love that third cover. It looks like Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, and the Little Mermaid in one. It does, and I think that's what it is. The Classical Kingdom is pretty. I love it. The first one is my fave. The first one on which page, Amanda? I think you mean maybe the first page. More Books is awesome as well. I saw Natalia's cover for Pistol Daisies and loved it. Yes, she did use More Books. 3, 1, and 3 seem best for the vibe you might want. Okay, and so I'm picturing each of those in the different pages. So great, thanks, Mary. They are also gorgeous. Yes, I love Bethany's books too. Love those. Love the middle one. Yes. Yeah, I love those illustrations. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad you guys like illustrated covers because I'm thinking about it. Epic fantasy, yes, that okay, makes sense. Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Yay, we're so excited for you. And yes, yeah, so I think we'll see. I'll let you guys know. Again, every month I'll be coming back here for at least one video to be like, this is what's going on. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. And as I firm up more things with the story, you will hear more like little snippets and details about the actual characters and about the story itself. I just want to make sure that whatever I'm saying out loud actually like ends up in the story. But I am sharing like more of like those kind of details and what I'm thinking is going to be happening with my patrons too. So if you're interested in that, you can check out Patreon. But what is my plan for this coming month? Okay, so it's Camp NaNoWriMo. I can't believe it. It's already July, but my plans are to draft, do second draft for episode 1 and then send at least part of it to my patrons by the end of the month, but hopefully the whole thing, maybe in parts. I want to fast draft episode 2. And I want to contact editors and cover designers and maybe start booking people, which again means I need to make decisions about titles and all kinds of things, which will also be going to my patrons first. So guys who are patrons, there's going to be more voting and suggesting coming your way. So be excited. Also, until then, if you want to learn even more about serials, I have a bunch of things to tell you. First of all, the lovely Leanne Johnson, who is here with us in the chat, has a group called World Builders Writing Group, and they meet once a month on Zoom, and she's been bringing in people to do webinars, and she asked me to talk about serials and answer questions and talk about author platforms and stuff. So I'm going to be doing that on July 18th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there is a registration link in the description below if you'd like to join us for that. I think that's going to be really fun, and yeah, so definitely let us know if you're going to be coming to that. And if you want to learn even more about serials, I have a few videos that I've been mentioning already. There's a whole playlist down below, some of these kind of chats, but then also some interviews with authors of already published serials and short fiction, like these two videos here. And like I've said already too, if you join the Author Life Insider tier on my Patreon, I already have like an over hour-long kind of in-depth deep dive into serials and answering questions and giving resources and stuff. So that is there too. But what are we doing next week? Because like I said, I am live at 5 every Wednesday here with you guys to chat with you about a bunch of different things. And next week, like I've already said, I'll be sharing how my writing process has changed since 2018, which is 2 years ago. Again, that was like highly voted by my patrons. I wasn't expecting that was going to be the highly voted one. So I was like, oh, that's so cool that they want to hear the process. So if you want to go digging into my past YouTube videos, you will find one that's called My Writing Process from 2018. And you can, it's probably a bad video. It's probably awkward video. But I'm going to rewatch that and sort of compare from what I do now, which I've done a little bit of, but I got to go back. And yeah, we're going to be talking about that. And I'd love to hear too next week, like, how do you feel like your writing process has changed over the past couple of years, and what kind of things have you learned? So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, so I'm going to, wow, it's already 35 minutes. I'm going to wrap up in a second, but if any of you have any questions that I haven't answered either about serials or about my specific serial story, feel free to ask them. I'm going to be on here for a couple more minutes. But yeah, thanks for just going on this journey with me, listening to the process, hopefully learning something. And yeah, and I'm really excited to share even more about the specific story and the world. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And if you missed the last video chat, the part 1 of this series, again, that's linked down below, and you can hear even more about like the inspiration and the themes that are in this story, because I'm really excited about it, if you couldn't tell. All right, I'm just trying to find out where I left off for the comments. Let's see. Looks like July is going to be an awesome month. I hope so. I hope 2020 just keeps going upwards, not downwards. We want to go up. So hopefully lots of things. Hi, Nikki. We are just wrapping up. I'm so sorry, but the replay will be available soon. Definitely let me know if you have any questions. Yes, Sarah, Leanne is awesome. How is your fantasy novel coming along? Sarah, are you asking about Ash and Dust? Which is like the full-length novel. I'm assuming so, but just let me know. I have to say I loved this week's live. Thanks so much, Brittany. Mary, that makes me so happy. It's so funny because like I just feel like I'm sharing what's going on with me and mistakes I'm making and things I'm learning. So I'm really helpful. I'm really excited. Let me rewind. I'm really excited that that is helpful for you guys. Because it's fun to just show up and chat with you and share things. Are the episodes the actual chapters in each short book, or are the separate books considered episodes? Oh, no, that's fine. So Abigail, yes. So instead of releasing novels, like full-length novels, you release an episode, sort of like a TV show, like every week there's like a new episode. So when I say episode for a serial, that's like the one thing that will come out. Like on Amazon, and it'll be a lot shorter than a normal novel, and that's why it's called an episode. So, and then within the episode, there will be chapters within each episode. If you want to check out an example, I did an interview with Jesse Elliott and Kelsey Sutton 2 or 3 videos ago. Again, it's in that playlist down below. And they talk about their serial. They actually did it, they called them volumes, but they're basically the same thing. And a lot of them are like novella size or like a little bit smaller than that. And then there are chapters within that. And then some people take all the episodes and put them into one book. So you can actually purchase the full like physical book, but it has all the episodes inside of it. I hope that makes sense. So excited to follow the writing journey. Yay, Ingrid. And it's so fun to like see like a bunch of you, yeah, either thinking about serials or doing serials, or even if you're just writing the normal novel, it's so cool to like hear your guys' progress too. I love it. Yay, Beth, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this. Love this. You always have such insightful advice. You're so sweet. I'm glad it is helpful. You're so welcome, and I'm glad that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I'm just blabbing. Yes, your dragon novel. So actually it is a fairy novel. So it does have dragons in it, but my characters are like fairies, and you can find out a little bit if you go to my website, authorbrittanyWang.com/books, and on Wings of Ash and Dust there's a little recap there. And I did some updating in some recent videos, but right now Ash and Dust actually got a like from an agency in Pitch Wars, one of the most recent Pitch Wars, and not Pitch Wars, sorry, Pit Mad on Twitter, from Pit Mad. And so so an agency actually has the book right now, and they've been reading it, but they haven't gotten back to me. I've checked in with them once or twice, and they've said, yeah, just things are like really slow right now. Like we're still reading it and considering it, and we'll get back to you soon. And so I have to wait. And so that's part of the reason actually why I started really serious. I've been thinking about doing a serial for a long time, and self-publishing something. But after that happened, I'm just like, okay, that's great, but I have no idea when something might actually happen with that. So I'm going to start writing something else and try to self-publish it so that I actually have something out there to give you guys. So that is super exciting news. And I'm also working on shaping that story up even more. And then I'm going to start querying Ash and Dust soon-ish, hopefully this next month. That's one of my goals too, is to like get it to a certain word count and then start querying it. So that's sort of what's going on with that, but now it's out of my hands. So I'm working on something else now. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm thinking about becoming a patron so I can get more inside information. Yay! And of course I want to support you and follow your author journey. Abigail, you are so sweet. I know people are tight on money right now, so it's totally fine if you can't. But yeah, the lowest tier is $2. So you get access to all the serial, at least the stuff about my own serial, my own story. At that tier, and we'd love to hang out with you and talk to you about all the things. And yeah, so let me know if you do decide to join us. We'd love to have you hang out with us and learn with us. Katie said, fell behind in the video, but long story short, was amazing. And if you're thinking about it or have any struggles, Britt mentioned it, is definitely worth the investment. I agree. So long story short course, really, really great for people who want to write short fiction. Great. Well, I think I've caught up with all the comments. Oh, wait, I see another one that hasn't showed up on my StreamYard, but Leanne says, random question on a possible Alice in Wonderland scenario. If the Tin Man is like, oh, here it goes. T-hybrid, Terminator Salvation, and the lion is like a beast, TV show Beauty and the Beast. What is the Scarecrow? Leanne, oh, we don't have enough time for this. You know what, Leanne, you're a patron, so let's put this either in the Discord group where everybody can sort of help give you thoughts, or you can private message me and we can troubleshoot a little bit, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Cool. All right. Well, I am done for today. I got to run out, but you guys are all amazing. Thank you for hanging out with me. We will be back here the first stream of next month to talk about serial stuff again, but we'll see you next week and the previous weeks, future weeks for other stuff as well. Oh, and if you need words, if you need to write words tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mandy Lynn's channel, she's going live with Natalia Lee and Brooke Passmore to do a writing sprint. So if you guys need some writing sprints tonight, you can check that out as well on Mandy Lynn's YouTube channel. All right, I am signing off. You all are wonderful, and we'll talk soon. Bye.